That's another fish. There we go. I think there's a fish on there. Yeah, there is. Heck yeah. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Kentucky once again. We are getting into that time of year where we are on the road a lot. You guys know that, whether we're in Florida or South Florida, got a trip to South Carolina coming up. But it always feels good to get back to Kentucky and get back to these farm ponds. And again, today I am fishing a very familiar spot, but we're gonna do something today that I have never done at this spot before. Now, you guys have seen me pull a lot of small fish out of this pond, and I pulled a couple decent ones out of here. But David's son, Rylan, was out here the other day, and he caught about a 4.5 pound bass. So I know there's some bigger fish in here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna work our way up. I brought some red worms out with me, so we're gonna work on catching us a bluegill. Then we're gonna take a bluegill, and guys, check this out. I brought a rod holder with me for today's video. We are gonna take a live bluegill and put it out in the middle of this pond. Now, in the center of this pond is about 12 foot deep, and that's where some of these big fish, hopefully, will be hanging out. I've never fished live bait in this pond ever. So we're gonna put one out there today. We're gonna see if we can't catch a decent sized fish out of this little Kentucky farm pond. Let's go. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do to start here, I'm just gonna kind of throw the rooster tail around because I've caught a lot of bluegill on rooster tail in this pond. So we're gonna go ahead and toss the rooster tail around a little bit. I believe the bluegill are on the bed here, which is a good sign because that means the bass are probably off the bed. And you guys know the last time I was up here, I fished another pond over in Henry County, and that one, the bass were like hardcore on the bed. I tried throwing lizards, Cincos, anything and everything you can imagine. I tossed in these bass beds and I could not get them to eat. I caught one like 2.5 pound bass, and that was about as good as it was going to get that day. But now I do believe the bass are off the bed, at least in this pond. And it's that time of year. We're in that second week of May, to where we're in a post-spawn pattern in some ponds, and other ones, they're still on the bed. And some of them, these deeper ponds, they could even be getting on the bed right now. So it really is just going to depend on water depth of where these fish are. In another 2 weeks, everything should be off the bed by the end of May, but you just never know. There we go, there's a fish on, guys. Just a little bitty one, but he's not going to be a bluegill. It's going to be a little largemouth bass. On the light tackle, the old rooster tail. I mean, you got to know when you toss the rooster tail around that you're going to be catching some little small largemouth bass. First fish of the day, just a little, not even pounder, but y'all know the rules. Look, we catch fish, it's a pound. 6 ounces or a pound, it's a pound every time. That's just the way fishing works. If you don't know that, you just don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all right now, Eugene would be so disappointed in me. That's the first time in my entire life I've ever been disappointed to catch a bass. I put this rooster tail on, and this is one of the smallest profile rooster tails you can get. Little bitty, just yellow and black rooster tail. Usually destroys the bluegill in this pond. I was really wanting to catch a bluegill right there, and of course hooked a little largemouth bass. And it might be because the bluegill are on the bed, it might be a little bit harder to catch them, but Eugene would be thoroughly disappointed in me if he knew that I was disappointed in catching a bass. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Let's get it back out there. I want to go at some point this year, I want to go and try to snag those spoonbills. There we go. Golly, just another little bass. I need a bluegill, guys. I don't need bass right now. I need bluegills. I guess. What's y'all's ethics on using bass for bait? Leave a comment down below, because I know some people do it. It is highly, highly frowned upon, just so you know. It's not something you're supposed to do legally, but there are some people that do it, make no mistake. But just another little small largemouth bass. Nothing to write. This is normal size for this pond. And I know that this pond is very, very overpopulated with these bass. But the reason they do that is because they bring a lot of kids here and fish, and this is not a trophy bass pond, guys. We fully are aware that they're not trying to pull trophy bass out of here. This is a pond where they want people to come out here, catch a lot of fish, have a good time. So that's why we don't clear this pond out. I know you guys have left comments down below, and you're all like, hey, you got to get some of those smaller bass out of there. And you're right. We're not saying you're wrong. But for the purpose of this particular pond, we're not trying to raise trophy bass here. We are strictly trying to have a good place where David's kids can come out, catch a few fish. They've got a lot of family with younger children that they bring down here to catch fish. So when you're trying to get youth into fishing, you need a place where every time you can catch a fish, because that's what gets them hooked. Let's be honest. You take a kid out and they sit there for 5 hours and they don't ever catch a fish, they're not coming back fishing with you for a long time. But you bring them out here and you put them on a fish every 2 seconds, that bobber drops, or if they're fishing with a rooster tail and they feel that tug every single cast, that's the kind of stuff that gets our kids today hooked on fishing. And that's what this pond's good for. But if we can catch a little bluegill, I promise y'all, I think we can pull something out of here with some size. I think there's a fish on there. Yeah, there is. Heck yeah, there we go. Guys, just tied the worm on right there. Look at that. Best bass of the day. I actually didn't even tie on a worm. Tied on that little watermelon lizard. God, I wasn't even rolling. I was talking to James and I threw that bait in that fish's mouth, y'all. Definitely the biggest bass we caught all day. Just a little 1 pounder, but he slurped that lizard up immediately. Thank you, buddy. All right, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, that fish caught me off guard. I was not expecting that one. I threw it in there and I got just a little bit of a backlash and I was working that out. And when I first tightened it up, I felt it and I thought I was down in the moss, and I wasn't in moss at all. I'd actually caught a fish, and I just put this out there again and it immediately got picked up. So I think we have found what these fish are looking for. Just throwing around this little weightless lizard creature bait. We're gonna put it back out there because right now they are working on him. What, straight down the bank?
Yeah, like maybe about between 7 to 10 feet out was where I last seen them.
Well, maybe 5 to 10. There we go. Fish on, baby.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Really?
Come on now. There we go, baby. There we go. Heck yeah. That's what's up right there, y'all. That's a decent fish.
That might be the one I see.
Oh yeah, baby. Heck yeah. Nice size largemouth bass. Let's get him back in the water. He is bleeding a little bit. Thank you, buddy. When I got home, I put them in my bait drawer and I forgot to get them out. But it almost looks like a cockroach, but it's oh, there's a fish on there. There we go. Right there, guys. Same thing, just sitting while I haven't got my bait caster dialed in good for these lighter baits. Oh my gosh. Y'all, look at that. Look at that green sunfish. I've never seen one that big. This dude ate a freaking lizard, guys. Are you kidding me right now? I would have bet you money that was gonna be a small bass. Look, it is a freaking 6-inch lizard and this green sunfish ate it. Like what? And guys, look, I want to show y'all right here. Check this out. You've heard me talking about these fish are in their spawning patterns. And look at his tail. The whole top of his tail is tore up where they've been fanning. These fish are definitely, I mean, look at the belly on that fish. That's definitely a PB green sunfish. I've never caught one that big and on a lizard. I don't know that I've ever caught these on anything other than red worms and rooster tails. Like that's not, but look at the belly. I just want y'all to check out that belly because that's a big girl there. She is getting ready to lay eggs. So we're gonna get her back in the water so she can do what she does. Thank you, Mama. Are you freaking kidding me right now? That was a little better, but it's still, what is going on? I want to catch another one of those big green sunfish. You know what happened? I just realized that's another fish. There we go. That's a decent fish there, guys. That's a little bit better. A little bit better fish. I was telling the guys right before I hooked up on this. All right, guys, this guy is jumping. This is a little bit better fish right here, guys. That is a little bit better fish. There we go. Look, look how high he knocked that lizard. You know they hit it hard when the lizard's that far up the line, guys. Check that out right there. All right, guys, now we're starting up. This is what I'm talking about. You got to weed through the smaller fish in this pond, but I want to show you how you know these fish were 100% on the bed. Check that out. See that tail? You can see how much he's been fanning. The whole back of his tail's all jacked up because they are wearing this lizard bait out. So, but much better fish. But that's what I was saying. There's a lot of small fish in this water, but there's a lot of big ones too. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Guys, I mean, again, at this little pond, we're having ourselves a day. But we still have not done what we came here to do, and that is to catch a little bluegill, put it out in the rod holder, and see if we can't catch one of these big bass that I know are in this pond. So I guess we're gonna have to resort to red worms. We tried to do it with the rooster tail, but and then obviously that big green sunfish that I caught, there's no way I would have put that on a hook for multiple reasons. One, it was obvious she was super close to getting ready to spawn. But also, I promise you there's not a fish in this pond big enough to eat that fish. That would have just been a huge waste of time to put that out there. And I mean, I know that. I'd like to think there is, but there ain't. All right, guys, so what we've done, put a bobber on the little micro rod, just tied on like a little, I think like 1/8 ounce jig head, something like that, with a worm. We're gonna put this out and we're gonna try to catch a bluegill. And then when we catch a bluegill, we're gonna tie it on to one of our rods and put it out in the middle and see if we can't catch a bigger bass on a live bait. We got Jerry on bluegill duty, guys. So we're trying to get Jerry to catch us a bluegill to put on our rod down here, and I'm continuing to work the worm. So I'm gonna toss the worm around a little bit while we have Jerry on bluegill duty. There we go, there's fish on. There's another fish, guys, right there. That's a decent bass. It's a decent bass. No, no, that is a slab crappie.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, are y'all kidding me? Y'all look at this freaking stud. That is a PB crappie, no question. Son. Guys, my heart is racing right now. Are you kidding me? Y'all, look at the size of this freaking crappie.
It's
Oh,
size of an iron skillet.
oh my, guys, this is the, here, I'm gonna take my camera off and hand it to Jerry so he can show y'all. Y'all look at the size of this freaking crappie. Are you kidding me right now? Bro, that's a stud. That's the biggest crappie I've ever caught. Guys, this is my hand. Just to give you guys a size comparison, y'all look at this. That is my hand. Here, Jerry, film down here. I wear a size 10.5 shoe. Y'all, it is a beast of a crappie, son.
I mean, it's fat too.
I've never caught a crappie in this pond ever. That's my very first crappie ever. Oh, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. One last look at this giant crappie. Let's get him back. Thank you, buddy. All right, guys, these are the, I don't know if you guys can see it, but these are the snakes we're seeing. Y'all know how much I don't like snakes, but that is what we're seeing right there. No, don't turn this way. Go away, bro. Oh, guys.
Oh, I got it too.
Jerry might be coming through on pinfish or on bluegill duty. Oh, he's got one. Jerry's got a bluegill. We need him. We need him for the rod, Jerry. Get him in.
He's coming.
You didn't catch a bass, did you?
That's bluegill.
Dude, that's perfect size. That is perfect size. Let's take him down there and put him on this rod. All right, guys, so Jerry just caught us a bluegill. I don't even know if this will work on this type of setup, but I'm gonna take this bluegill, it's probably a green sunfish actually, and I'm just gonna cast it out in this deeper water and see if we can get a bass to eat this bluegill. It's gonna be a big fish.
Number 4.
Jerry's on bluegill number 4. He just might crack a cold one yet. If you catch a smaller one, we're gonna change it out for the one on the rod.
Yep.
But
like
that's good size. That's a great size green sunfish.
About the same
they do.
size.
Jerry's caught the same size so far. Don't worry, I won't.
Yeet.
Yeah, my man over there yeeting fish. Y'all hear that? Oh, look, his buddy's trying to eat him. Did you see that?
No, I missed
his friend was trying to eat. Man, that is the life of a fish. You're swimming around with your buddies, and then the next thing you know, you're in trouble, and your friends are trying to eat you.
They're like sharks. They sense the fear in the water.
They do. Oh, you forgot to say yeet.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. Either my bluegill is getting real active, or something's messing with him. I saw the rod tip popping over just a little. Oh, guys, I think he just got 8. I think he just got 8. Yeah, he did. There's a fish on there, baby. Live bluegill, catching a bass on a live bluegill. Come on now. Come on, son. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, it's not a giant, but y'all, we caught a bass on the live bluegill. Oh, I gotta get him landed here. Stop twirling. I can't believe that worked, y'all. That is nuts. Y'all check him out. Caught him on a live bluegill. Are you kidding me right now? Nice little 2-pound bass on a live bluegill. Man, that is awesome. Let's get this dude back in the water. Thank you, buddy. Yes. Guys, it is just awesome when you come out and you got a plan in place and that plan works out. And that's exactly what happened right there. Yes, that was awesome. There we go. There's a fish. Guys, that is definitely going to be bass number 6 on the day. So I got to beat Jerry to say, hey, Eugene, let's crack a cold one. Crack a cold one. Merrick. Little bitty guy. Thank you, buddy.
That one got a little drag.
You might have a bass. Jerry's caught his 6th. No, just another little green sunfish.
Oh, he choked it.
But that's your, oh, he did choke it. Wow. That is a fat fish, dude. Put your hand behind that. That is a fatty, bro. He's not quite as big as that first one I caught on the worm, but y'all look how big that green sunfish is. Dang. Nice job. All right, y'all. I am not mad about that whatsoever. Shout out to my buddy Jerry for coming out and helping me out this morning, doing a little bit of fishing, and caught the bait that ultimately made today's challenge possible. When we started today, the only thing I wanted to do was put a rod in this rod holder with a live bait and catch fish on it, which we did. Now, it still was not a giant, was not a PB. This video is part of that quest to try to catch a new PB bass and an 8-pound bass this year. And that's part of what I'm doing in Kentucky this weekend. Didn't get it done today, but man, what a day. I mean, we caught a green sunfish on a lizard that was no question a PB for me. That thing was gigantic. Caught a couple nice bass, caught a lot of small bass.
Crappie.
Jerry caught 6 green sunfish, and then the catch of the day was no question that big like stud crappie. Like I wear a 10.5 shoe, and I'm showing you guys the clip again right here. That's a big fish. I know cameras don't always do fish justice when we put them on camera, but I didn't have a measuring stick with me, but he was every bit of 13, 14-inch crappie. Easy. And he was girthy. I mean, that was a big old boy. So today was not a wash whatsoever. We had a lot of fun, caught a lot of fish, and ultimately we completed our challenge today. We were able to take the sand spike, catch a fish on it, and you know what? We'll just improve from here and we'll move on to the next one. And before long, we're gonna catch that 8-pound fish, and we're definitely gonna get on a new PB bass real quick. Guys, as always, I can't thank you enough for all the support. Each and every time we upload, you guys get all over it, and we sincerely appreciate that. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a great big thumbs up. If you're new to the Cameraman Ron channel, make sure you got that notification bell turned on, and make sure you done smash that subscribe button. And as always, we'll see you on the next video. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.